Hello, everybody. So, for tonight's movie, leading into Halloween for our week of horror movies here, we are going to be taking a look at the film Don't Hang Up. Now, this one interested me because when I first saw it, I was sure it was going to be like a lot of these YouTube horror things where it's like you find out nobody actually made this per se. It was a script that no studio wanted to touch, and a bunch of YouTubers got it and made a vanity project out of it. Probably just some people I don't know, yada yada, etc. And I am actually very happy to say I was completely wrong. Now, the interesting thing about this, though, is this appears to be a completely independent film. In fact, yeah, it debuted at the Los Angeles Film Festival last year. Um, and it's interesting to me because, I mean, this is something that's actually. Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised by that in a minute. It's directed by. Ah, gosh. I am so sorry if I butcher these names. Alexis Wajbro and Damian Mace. Now, the reason that that's surprising to me is I had never heard these names before, so I figure, okay, I'll look them up. Why not, right? This is their first movie. They had directed together a short film before called Red Balloon, but other than that, these guys are visual effects people. They've been visual effects supervisors, compilers. Damien's done matte paintings on several things, including Game of Thrones. They both worked on Edge of Tomorrow, Sherlock Holmes here. Um, Alexis apparently has done the visual effects on Iron Man 3, on Doctor Strange, on Thor Ragnarok. So, oh boy. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. He's got a pretty interesting pedigree in that, but this is their first big foray into directing, and I gotta say, they did a really freaking good job. Um, I actually really loved this movie. A lot more than I was expecting. It might just be my low expectations, making it seem like it was better than it was, but it's better than what a lot of big studios put out these days. Again, um, they take they took a script by Joe Johnson of all people, um, who honestly doesn't have the best pedigree in terms of quality things he's written either. So this is one of those things where a bunch of people who haven't really done a whole lot of note or even necessarily good in Mr. Johnson's case kind of come together and magic happens. Um, Now I do want to say there are a couple things where there are complaints, so don't think that I'm just gonna be kissing this movie's ass. But it was really good. Um, all right, the premise is they took something that was kind of current, right? YouTube prank videos. Those things are big. Let's be real. Whether we want them to be or not, whether we think they're stupid or not, they're big. A lot of these big YouTube channels get into that. They get into these pranks, these fake beefs, these, you know, elaborate setups and everything, and they do it for views to try to go viral. These guys run a this is a story about three guys who run a prank channel, and we're talking one of those extreme prank channels, okay, where they literally go out of their way to terrify people. People almost get hurt. The more extreme, the better. The closer it comes to confrontation, the better. They revel in it. They record it. They upload it. If they can get video, so much the better, etc. Um, I mean, they even actually get one of their friends almost beaten by a guy with a baseball bat because they didn't know he'd be the guy delivering the pizza they sent to this guy's house. And they still, don't stop. They're like addicted to it. And then out of nowhere, they get a call from a guy calling himself Mr. Lee, saying that he's going to show them what it's like. Excuse me, to be scared and to have someone do this to them. And through a series of pretty elaborate things, he does it. Now, it's hard for me to reveal too much without spoiling, and I don't really want to spoil this movie because I want people to kind of go into this with some realistic expectations and not knowing what they're in for, because that, to me, having avoided spoilers, is actually what made this pretty good. If you knew everything that was going to happen ahead of time, it'd probably lessen the effect. But there were some things that, I mean, it was genuinely creepy. The lighting, the atmosphere, all the injuries that everyone winds up getting, they look real. Okay, there's nothing that's really like over the top. Like, a guy gets punched in the face, he's got a split by his eye, and it looks like the way it would. Somebody gets. I mean, there's at one point, I don't want to say who or how, but a close up of a knife wound in someone's chest, and it looks friggin' real. Okay, it kind of creeped me out a bit. Like this is really intense. Alright, now I do have a couple complaints. There are a few things that I think were a little weak. There a couple of the scenes, some of the acting is a little off. I think they might have. I mean, this is their first film though, so considering, it's a good job. But I feel like some of these scenes could have benefited from maybe some additional takes. There's a couple places where the writing just seems a little flimsy, or like just not as cool of a payoff as I'd been hoping for. But at the same time, that also kind of lends to the realism, because what happens in the movie is never really over the top. Like, that's the scary part. A lot of it's completely feasible and believable, and just, oh man, and it does play at your emotions a bit too. Like, there are times you are genuinely angry, and there are times you are genuinely sad, and the whole time, you're thinking this guy's kind of a sadistic psycho, and why is he doing this? And then you find out why, and it's like, ooh, wow, it's a callback to something, and it seems like something that's like really obscure, but it's not. And it honestly is kind of a warning, yeah, about the whole prank calling and prank videos, and how you can seriously hurt people whether you mean to or not. But it's done in such a way that's like not super heavy-handed, and it's also not cliche, especially with the ending. I'll say that much. But honestly, overall, I'd probably give this a good 7.5, 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. Like, especially if you're watching this at home in a dark room. I mean, the way this guy just planned for this, and the stuff with the lights, and oh man, it's genuinely freaky and disturbing at times. But at any rate, that'll do it for this review. And I believe for the next one, we will probably be tackling Before I Wake. So I will catch you guys tomorrow night with that. See ya.